Hello, fellow classmates. This is Katrina Caesar, and this is my presentation about volunteering at Sharing Life Outreach Community Center. So I will start by saying that, okay, so Sharing Life is located in Mesquite. It's right by in Townies. It's right located on the side of a church. The church doesn't, the name um, really can't remember the name right now, but it's on the side of a church behind Target, the Super Target. The reason I chose this is because, of course, I live in the area and I saw it on the list of organizations. My previous experience at Share Life before volunteering was being a client. So it was interesting being on the other side of the aspect. I have also donated clothes and food, but I wanted to see about the volunteering. So I thought that was very, very, very interesting. So in Dallas County, 1 in every 5 people are food insecure. And that does include Mesquite, Pleasant Grove, which is part of Dallas County, Box Springs, and Garland. So when I first walked in, I met with five. She explained to me my job duties to assist wherever I can, either in the food pantry or the clothing or the intake. But most of the time, I was in food at the pantry, which, as anyone has saw my or read my previous discussion boards, I encountered a lot of people. Many were family members and friends, and many were not. Everybody in all different ethnicities, creeds, race, color came through the pantry, which was interesting to me. Um, so next, this is the food pantry. So when you walk in, as you see, there is the cards, and then you get to choose, depending on the size of your family, of what you can get. So I was there to guide, just just to guide through and assist the clients with any of their needs, as far as if you're a family of five, how many canned goods you will get on that aisle. You can mix match, explain it. Sometimes I will go through. Some of them I already knew what they needed, so I was just there just to, I guess, stand there. So I do know that the food pantry at Sharing Life, it is like one of the hubs for North Texas Food Bank. So that is one of the donations, which I found interesting because I did not know that. So the next. Okay, so as we already know, there are like three service models. For me, Sharing Life was the health service model because it answered the problems in living. And on the next slide, I will explain of the problems in living. Okay, one problems in living is, of course, where they're located is a food insecure. Well, it was a food insecure place. Right now, there's a Target. They opened a Walmart, which um I liked because everywhere in Dallas County doesn't have those options. But they still answered the problem of the ones who cannot afford to go to Target or uh, Walmart or Kroger to get their food because they cannot afford it. So this is one of the answers of problem living. How can we provide services for those who cannot afford those services? So one is also the food pantry. There's also the clothing, and they also have educational assistance. They have energy assistance, which personally I've taken part of, very helpful, and other resources. They do a certain zip code, but if you do not live within that zip code, they will refer you to the correct place to go for assistance, which I liked. So this is a perfect example of the health service model. They're helping their clients, which I love. Okay, next we're going to move on to the next slide. There is one quote in the book that I will always remember, is that as a health service provider, you help the whole person. You empower the clients to help themselves. The word empower is so important because if you don't give the client a choice, know that we are there. We're empowering them to grow as a person. And we treat them as a whole person, not someone that's just asking for a handout. That is something that is a big deterrent of why people don't ask for help, is because someone will think they're asking for a handout when they just need help for a short period of time. So personally, I like to empower them. I know sometimes in life you go through a lot and you have a lot on your plate and you just want someone to either to listen, talk to, so you utilize your nonverbal skills and sometimes your verbal skills. It depends on the client, but all in all and overall, you empower the client to help themselves, because I cannot help you if you do not want to help yourself as a person. All right, let's move on to the next slide. So this is the freezer, as you see, and this is some of the fresh fruits and vegetables, because until where I live in Pleasant Grove, it's kind of a food desert because it's just a corner store. That's it. It's a corner store and a Family Dollar. So if you want fresh fruit or anything, you actually have to go outside, and they do provide that. So I was happy to see that. Okay, so this is where I would direct the customers on what cold foods they can take. As you see right now, there's chicken and everything, and I would tell them how many they will get. What I found interesting was restaurants around the area would donate their food at the end of the day, unused food, and they would freeze it and give it to the Sharing Life to distribute to the clients. I know one time there was Olive Garden. I saw like the lasagna, the spaghetti, the chicken Alfredo, and I thought that was very interesting for them to provide that service for the customers that I can't afford to actually go sit in the restaurant. So to go on further, I did ask Sharon Laugh, can I interview a couple people and ask them either why they decide to volunteer or why do they serve? And the first person I came across was Gloria, and here she is. This is Gloria. She's one of the service workers, and you would have to press play on the interview because I was having issues trying to transition over and all the interview. But this is Gloria. You choose this profession. I have worked with Amy from day one, and this was her answer to the question that I asked. Why did you pick Sharing Life? This is Miss Tasha. She is a very sweet person, and she is actually over one of the aspects of Sharing Life, and I enjoyed her reason because it reminds me of why I started and why I'm going to continue to volunteer. And here is her answer. Why did you choose this profession? This is Mr. Scott. He has been volunteering for Sharing Life for 7 years. And to me, he made it short, simple, and to the point of why he volunteers, and of course, why the definition of a human service professional, period. Here is his response. All right, this is Mr. Scott. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed my presentation, and kind of happy it's over. Happy holidays.